So now we're going to add vectors. So let's take a look at adding some vectors. Let's just say we have two vectors. Here's one vector, and let's make a new one. Let's make a blue vector. Once again, it's always hard with this program to make them so they line up, but there we go. We have got our two vectors. Now, let's take a look. Let's call the blue one A, and the green one B. So we've got our two vectors. And what we can do, guys, and the way you add vectors is always the same way. Let me move these a little bit lower down so I have more space to play with. You always add them head to tail. Head to tail. So that means you're going to take this vector. Now notice right here, right now they are tail to tail. You need to take this one and put it like this, or you could simply take this one and put it like that. Whichever way you do it, guys, it does not matter. So let's move B. And then let's come up here. Let's change something real quick. Let's do this, and then let's make a red resultant. Here's our resultant. And let's write an R beside it for resultant. So there, this resultant is my A plus my B. So we could also see, guys, if you really, really want to see this, I'm going to put my one back here. Here's this one. So you might want to say, but Mr. Shaw, what if I do a different order? What if I keep my B stationary and I move my A? Well, if you notice this, guys, you'll actually get the exact same resultant. So this means that you can reverse the order of your addition. Order does not matter for your addition of vectors. You can go A plus B plus C, or C plus A plus B. They're all going to give you the same resultant. Okay, great. Now, the next one I want to do is take a look back at our green lonely vector here, and I'm going to give it a friend. I'm going to make a blue friend for it. Here's my blue friend. Let's make it a little bit more challenging. Let's go up here. And now, let's identify this guy. This guy's at -1 in the x-axis. And if you notice, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, +4 in the y-axis. So here's my point. Now, to add them together, just to visually add them together, you just simply do head to tail. Sorry about these ones not being perfect, but there we go. Now you may say, okay, what does this do? Well, now we can see that if you just add your vectors together, or add the coordinates of your vectors together, you'll get the coordinates of the resultant, the coordinates that describe the resultant. So I'm just simply going to take, you see I have a -1 and a -3 here. I add those together. Negative up, Control Z. -1 plus -3. That's going to give me -4. And then I'm also going to do, this was for my x's, now I'm going to do my y's. 4 plus plus, I just realized I made a mistake. You got me, kids. Plus -2. So that's going to give me 2. So I'll now have a point of -4, 2. And that's going to be right here. And you'll notice that that makes sense. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. There you go. And for those of you guys who caught this at home, this needs to be negative from before. Okay, excellent. So let's move on. So that is adding vectors by their coordinates. If you take the coordinates that represent the end of each vector, the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate, and you have two vectors you're adding together, say this blue one and this green one, you can then find the resultant, this red one, by simply adding up the coordinates. The -1 and the -3, the -2 and the 4 will give you this, and that's the exact location of the resultant's head. Okay? Our last question. Let's scribble this one out. And this is the difficult one that many students have problems with. Now remember, if you know the x and y components that represent the end of your vector, then you can simply add the x and y components together to find resultants. Well, sometimes it's not so easy. So you may get a crazy line that's like, what is 7 newtons at 310 degrees? And you may say, oh my goodness, this is already crazy. I don't even know what newtons really means, Mr. Shaw. And 710 degrees is rather bizarre as well. So let's draw an XY axis real quick. And we can just do this, and we can just do this. So we have, nope, by Control Z, Control Z. Let's do this. So here's my XY axis. Now I want to draw a vector coming off this. So I'm going to come right here. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but now it's going to be 310 degrees, so it's past here. And it's going to be, remember that the bottom is your, geez, I'm forgetting it now, 90, 180, 270. It's going to be 40 degrees past 270. Remember, that's right, I'm in. This always helps me out. I always forget, guys. What did I even do? Stop it. No. No. Well, that was entertaining. So now you have 0. You have 180. I'm just going to skip over 90. It's up there. You guys know it. And 270. So now we are in fact 40 degrees past 270. Because look, we're at 310. If you add these together, you get 310. So the whole thing, oh my goodness, is going to be 310. And now we know this is 7 newtons long. But you may say, I need to add it to a vector. I need to know the x and y coordinates out here. Well, all you simply have to do, guys, is use the formula that Mr. Lee gave you, or the formula from your reference table. So let's give you the formula that Mr. Lee gave you. He gave you that x equals cos theta, and if you look up, I forgot the h. X, at the end of the day, kids, cos theta. And y equals h sine theta. That's more like it. Now, if you look on your reference table, it'll give you a little bit stranger formula, but I assure you it may look scary, but it's quite friendly. Ax equals a cos, sorry, it's not writing, cos theta, and then ay equals a sine theta. Now these formulas, they match up. This ax and this is that and this is that. The same thing, when you get your 7 newtons, guys, the 7 newtons is going to go in your h or your a. And the a just stands for any vector, and the ax stands for the x component of that vector. So if I was going to write this out or put in my answers, do my solutions, we have a 310 degree angle, 7 newtons. All you simply have to do, guys, you don't have to draw triangles. So many people were up here on the quiz drawing triangles, doing stuff like this, and you don't have to do that. You just have to use the formulas. So I would get x equals to 7 newtons cos 310 degrees. This is getting a little annoying. And then y equals 7 newtons sine 310 degrees. And that's all you have to do, guys, to find your x and y components, is just these formulas. They were on the board last time. And then we'll be on your next quiz. Okay, thanks for listening.